Have you ever wondered how Germany became the powerhouse it is today? From scattered tribes to a unified nation at the heart of Europe, its story is a whirlwind of emperors, reformers, wars, and walls. Join me as we journey through the epic history of Germany in just 10 minutes. Our story begins over 2,000 years ago, with the Germanic tribes roaming the forests of Central Europe. These weren't a single people, but a collection of groups like the Goths, Vandals, and Franks. The mighty Roman Empire tried to conquer them but found it incredibly difficult. A famous battle in the Teutoburg forest in 9 AD saw 3 Roman legions wiped out, a shocking defeat that effectively stopped Roman expansion east of the Rhine River. For centuries, the Rhine and Danube rivers formed a tense border between the Roman world and what they called Germania. But as the Roman Empire began to weaken, things changed. The migration period, or Völkerwanderung, saw these tribes move, clash, and settle across Europe, laying the foundations for the kingdoms that would follow. Out of this chaotic period, one tribe rose to prominence, the Franks. Their greatest leader, Charlemagne, was crowned emperor in Rome on Christmas Day, 800 AD. He forged a vast empire that covered modern-day France, Germany, and northern Italy, reviving the idea of a unified Christian empire in the West. After Charlemagne's death, however, his empire was divided among his grandsons. The eastern part, East Francia, would evolve into the Kingdom of Germany. This kingdom became the core of the Holy Roman Empire, a complex and often fragmented political entity that would last for 1,000 years. It wasn't holy, Roman, or a true empire in the modern sense, but a collection of duchies, principalities, and free cities. During this time, in the north, a powerful trading network called the Hanseatic League emerged. Cities like Lübeck and Hamburg dominated trade on the Baltic and North Seas, showing Germany's growing economic might. Fast forward to the 16th century, a time of profound change. In 1517, a monk named Martin Luther nailed his 95 Theses to a church door in Wittenberg. He was protesting corruption in the Catholic Church, and his actions accidentally sparked the Protestant Reformation. This religious revolution split Germany, and indeed Europe, apart. Princes and cities chose sides, leading to decades of conflict. The most devastating of these was the 30 Years' War, from 1618 to 1648. What began as a religious conflict became a brutal, continent-wide power struggle fought largely on German soil. The war was catastrophic, wiping out a huge portion of the German population and leaving the Holy Roman Empire shattered into hundreds of tiny, independent states. From this patchwork of states, one began to stand out: Prussia. Located in the northeast, Prussia, under disciplined and ambitious rulers like Frederick the Great, built a formidable army and an efficient bureaucracy. Its power grew steadily. Then came Napoleon Bonaparte. His conquest of Europe in the early 1800s dissolved the 1,000-year-old Holy Roman Empire. While initially a humiliation, the Napoleonic Wars sparked a new sense of German nationalism. People began to dream of a unified German nation. The man who made this dream a reality was Otto von Bismarck, the Iron Chancellor of Prussia. Through brilliant diplomacy and a series of short, decisive wars against Denmark, Austria, and France, Bismarck united the German states. In 1871, in the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles, the German Empire was proclaimed, with the Prussian king, Wilhelm I, as its first emperor, or Kaiser. The new German Empire was an industrial and military giant, but its ambition and a tangled web of alliances led it into the disaster of World War I. The war's brutal trench warfare and eventual defeat in 1918 led to the collapse of the empire. The Kaiser abdicated, and a new democratic government, the Weimar Republic, was born. But the Republic was plagued by problems: crippling war reparations, hyperinflation, and political extremism from both the left and right. The global Great Depression of the 1930s was the final blow. In this climate of desperation, a charismatic and hateful leader, Adolf Hitler, and his Nazi party rose to power. In 1933, Hitler became chancellor, quickly dismantling democracy and establishing a brutal totalitarian dictatorship. The Nazi regime's aggressive expansionism plunged the world into World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history. During the war, the Nazis systematically carried out the Holocaust, the genocide of 6 million Jews and millions of other victims. The war ended in 1945 with Germany's total defeat and utter devastation. The victorious Allies, the United States, the Soviet Union, Great Britain, and France, divided the country and its capital, Berlin, into 4 occupation zones. What was meant to be a temporary arrangement hardened as the Cold War began. The Western zones merged to form the Federal Republic of Germany, or West Germany, a democratic state. The Soviet zone became the German Democratic Republic, or East Germany, a communist satellite of Moscow. The old capital, Berlin, deep inside East Germany, became a flashpoint. To stop its citizens from fleeing to the west, the East German government, in 1961, built the Berlin Wall. This concrete and barbed wire monstrosity became the most potent symbol of the Cold War, a literal iron curtain dividing a city, a country, and a continent. For nearly 30 years, Germany remained divided. Families were torn apart, and two vastly different societies developed. But by the late 1980s, the communist bloc was crumbling. Protests for freedom swept across Eastern Europe. On the historic night of November 9, 1989, East German authorities unexpectedly announced that citizens could cross the border. Overjoyed crowds swarmed the Berlin Wall, dancing atop it and chipping away at it with hammers and picks. The wall had fallen. This momentous event paved the way for German reunification, which was formally completed on October 3, 1990. Today, a unified Germany stands as a pillar of the European Union, a leading economic power, and a stable democracy. Its journey through chaos, division, and tragedy to become a beacon of peace and prosperity is one of the most remarkable stories of the modern world. Thank you so much for watching this whirlwind tour of German history. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the past. See you in the next one.